Right. And what about today's news? Have you seen it come out? WBC say they're going to have a look at Dillian Whyte's mandatory position and when it might happen.
Oh, wow. I've not seen it, but like I said, from today's news. When was he? Not when was he originally, but when? What was the latest before today? Was it February?
Weren't they saying end of January or sometime in February?
Yeah, something like that for him to. It's just another blow for him, isn't it? I think now. I mean, is the Povetkin fight, which seems as if it's going to happen in August on one of Eddie's shows, that's been the talk for a while. Whether that can be served as some kind of final limit, but I don't know because
it seems to me like they're lining it up as an excuse. Mercio Sullivan said in press release, he's put obviously he'd got a mandatory obligation for his interim champion against Povetkin, and because that hadn't happened, then that might not fulfilled his obligation. So you just think, where is that going to now?
Yeah. You have no idea. So if he does, Dillian beats Povetkin, then obviously you worry for him. If Fury and Joshua does happen, it could be another 12 months and he's still waiting for his shot. Joe, that's just being realistic because it seems common now, doesn't it, that Joshua's going to fight Pulev next. Fury and Wilder 3 is going to happen. So we don't know exactly when.
They're going to happen, aren't they? That's that? To get together, wouldn't you? Winners of them too.
Yeah, yes. So if then that happens, then does if Fury comes out victorious, does he then retire after that fight, or you worry really there? For Dillian, if that's true, what's been said, you've got to worry for him. And
well, if you think there's been no boxing now for 3 or 4 months,
yeah.
So that's going to take us from what are we now, June? So that takes you to October anyway. Yeah. Even if we're just catching up and boxing, you can see him. Honestly, even for him to get, if you're having his shot and they put him in next, you think middle of next year, wouldn't you? But if, like you say, if it works out like you're saying with your boxing, he's nowhere, is it?
No, it's especially if Tyson and AJ happens, definitely, because obviously both have got to come through the fights, and obviously that's not going to happen now till it almost certainly till 2021. This time next year, we could still be talking what's happening with Dillian, and it's a massive shame. You've got to feel for him, but I think they all sort of being mandatory for the WBC as. He's been so unlucky with, but when you think about it now, listen, he had to beat Povetkin. That's certainly no gimmick. Yeah. But it's a tough fight. But he's been, when boxers who've been hit by coronavirus, he's one who has really could be affected by it in the long run. And people go, well, he's fighting on pay-per-view in Eddie's Garden. He'll pick up a nice pay. Yeah, but I mean, on the bigger scale of things, that shot at a world heavyweight title, he's possibly been hit the hardest.
Yeah, says it's knocked him at it. But they've announced today, haven't they, Matchroom now, because they were talking about doing Whyte Povetkin in July, weren't they? Behind closed doors, they're now saying August, so maybe sometime in August. So even that's going back, isn't it?
Yes, so that's been put back, and I think did they put the first date's late July, isn't it? I think I'm right in saying that.
Yeah, and they've cancelled that now.
Yeah, so we might find out soon. But I knew. Like you say, it's great that try and get boxing back, but we've said for a bit. I think it's a lot more complicated than setting up a ring, a bit of a TV studio, makeshift TV studio, and let's just fight. Like it's not going to be a few people wearing face masks. It's going to be much more complicated than that, I'm sure. But
today before we started, me and T were just saying, I don't know if you've seen it on news today, an Arsenal player's failed COVID test today.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so now what happens? Do all players have to go into quarantine? What happens there? Mad.
Well, it's it's mad. And listen, like we all want boxing back, but we're still unsure. I saw Top Rank there. They'd give dates out for shows.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So I keep sort of referring to them, but let's be honest. I think the UFC just do what they want, don't they? They just do what they want. So I don't think we can compare it too much to the boxing, because I don't know how they've got away or they've been allowed to do things. I just don't know. But I don't think we can compare it to that anymore, because they've never really stopped, hardly, have they?
Their own regulation, aren't they? So they regulate themselves, which means that they
exactly
don't they?
No, exactly that. So it's a lot more, like you say, we've always said with government guidelines and stuff like that. We've still got to go off them. But hopefully, mate, sort of the fact we'll see some boxing soon. Listen, we know it's getting nearer, but it looks like there's been a slight delay again.
Yeah, it's kicked back again. Did you see that? What do you think to that as well? That's come out of data. We've got Dillian Whyte against Francis, how do you pronounce his surname, Ngannou?
Yes. You know what? I think it's mad, Rich. I think it's absolutely mad, because, don't get me wrong, I should know this. Anyway, he's useful with his hand, but say that again?
Just flattened someone, didn't it, other week?
Yes. But you forget, in those UFC gloves, in those MMA gloves,
which
you only have to clip someone.
Yeah, you may as well have them on.
Yeah, and that's it. So it's a matter of, any big guy who's landing clean, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go over. Yeah. They're going to go over. So to start comparing, saying that fight's going to be competitive, the world top 10 ranked heavyweight, somebody who's mandatory for the world title, has been for a few years. For me, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as McGregor Mayweather. It's someone who's making the professional debut is fighting one of the greatest of all time. It's not that mad, but it's still very.
Don't you think
still mental?
Is with his world title fight that they'd even consider doing it, whether it's just talk or not? Don't you think it's a bit like, well, yeah, he's not getting a world title, so what we'll do now is we'll fight someone from UFC.
Do you know what?
I'm right confident that they're going to get that shot. Because why would you even talk about it?
The only thing I can think of, whether it's to raise Dillian's profile even more, because we know there'll be others who'll want to see that and make a case for Francis. I forget his name, I can't say the name, but for that, who'd want to see it. So I'm not sure whether it is just talk. I memean, there's meant to be a virtual press conference, wasn't there? But that didn't go ahead. I'm not sure for what reason that got cancelled. But I'd be very surprised if it happened. Well, actually, no, I won't be very surprised if it happens. But I know what you mean, when Dillian's on the verge of getting a world title shot, to then be fighting a fighter who's in the UFC, it does seem very great, mental.
What about that this week as well? Bit of different news. DAZN, people saying DAZN are close to going bankrupt or going under. I think it's 500 million.
I've only seen little bits of it, Rich, but I seen a little interview with Eddie, and he said, and I get his point for sure, where there's no live sport going on at the minute, and if there's no live sport going on at the minute, then it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for anything like that. I think it's tough.
I don't because that Lembleventnik or whatever his name is, he's got more money than Catholic Church. So I think as long as he still believes in it, he can put money in himself. He's not like Steve. But I think it's more, and you can't say it's a failing business model and that's why it's not worked. It's just there's just no. If you're a sport channel and there's no sport,
what do you do?
What do you do?
I know loads of people who've cancelled Sky Sports because there's no live sport on for anything that's on. Really, realistically, you can just put on YouTube and save yourself the subscription fee. So I know a lot of people who've cancelled that for the last 3 months. So I imagine them figures are down. But I think anything regarding sport, live sport, it's unless other than the UFC, and now I think a bit of rugby's coming back, is it as well? Then it's Bundesliga, obviously. It's going to be hard for any of them.
Yeah, it's. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll carry on. I don't see anything happening imminently. Look, he knows himself. If he's made that much money, he's a clever enough bloke. He knows that if this has happened and there's no sport on it, it's not fault of the company, is it? It's just
totally.
It's like blaming a pub now that no one's bought a pint. Pubs can't
yes.
What to do.
And I think, like you say, the money that's been laid out on big contracts, if there was to walk away now, I don't know, it won't make sense with it.
Nah, I don't think it'll happen. I think they'll carry on.